Hey guys, today I am here with special guest Adam Silvera.
Hey,
Whoa!
hi. My first whoosh.
First whoosh.
That was done by you.
Do it for you.
Yes.
Today I'm going to be doing a fun little Q&A with Adam, so without further ado, let's get started with the questions.
Yay.
Yeah, so More Happy Than Not was a really tragic and dark story, so what was the hardest part about writing that book?
I get a lot of reviews and tweets about it as if the book was just like character torture, essentially, and these are the same people who are reading Game of Thrones, but apparently like my book is keeping it like too real, and so yeah, I mean it was really complicated because I mean I wrote that book as sort of like exploration of like what my life could have looked like if I came out at 16, whatever, and what kind of trials I may have been like, you know, involved in or whatever. It was like actually like very therapeutic, but of course you tell people that like you wrote this really dark book and it was just therapy for you, like you didn't cry or whatever. So yeah, but it was
Did you
like,
cry writing it at all?
Not once.
Really?
My second and third book I've cried at least once for a book or whatever, but More Happy, I guess I'm just like really heartless or whatever. You have to be heartless if you're writing that book,
Yeah,
I think.
true. Yeah,
so.
Sure. If you could describe More Happy Than Not by using a song, what song would it be?
Okay, so it's I think Cough Syrup by Young the Giant. It's actually a song I listen to a lot. I first discovered it on a little show called Glee.
Oh.
And one sir, Darren Criss, was singing it, and I was like really into like him and really into the song, and there's just like this really great line, "These zombies in the park are looking for my heart," and I just thought that was like really kind of embodies like the tone of the book as well.
For sure. Okay, so in More Happy Than Not we have the Lateo Institute, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Lateo, yeah.
If you could erase any embarrassing moment from your life, what would it be?
I've gone to like a lot of clubs and bars where I start talking to dudes and then realize they're straight, or like their girlfriends will walk up and be like, can I help you? Why are you talking to my boyfriend? I mean, I also one time kind of shouted at Suzanne Collins at the Mockingjay launch party in New York or whatever, and I was just like, "Thank you so much for coming," and she was like, "Oh, thank you for coming, sweetie," and I'm like, "No, thank you." It's really intense. Actually, I probably need to retain that memory so I don't ever yell at another author.
Right.
But yeah, so I guess all the misfire flirting, I'd like to forget a dozen of those.
Get rid of that. So I'm always interested to find out where books are written. So where was More Happy Than Not written? Was it written like one place, different places?
So I'm from New York, and like from the Bronx specifically, and I moved to Dallas when I was writing this book. So I was living with my boyfriend at the time, and so I wrote the book in Dallas, Texas, like this very like Bronx book, and I wrote it in Dallas, and I think that was like really important for me too because it for the first time gave me some perspective about like what were like Bronx things and what was like, you know, a Texas thing or whatever. Right. Like I remember my first week there, I was like, oh, like let's go to like a bodega or whatever, and my then boyfriend was like, "What are you talking about?" or whatever. Or I was like, "Let's play Skelzies." It's like kind of like a street like chalk board game or whatever. And he's like, "I've never heard of that in my life." I'm like, "Oh wow, okay, cool." So it gave me enough like perspective and distance to like actually see what the Bronx was. So, but really, I wrote it like wherever I could. I would like outline in the car during like long like road trips or whatever. I'm the worst passenger for a road trip. I will either nap or just write, and then yeah, and I would write it wherever, in the couch, offices, bedroom. You know, like I try to keep it very flexible because if I try to assign like one station to write, I would get nothing done.
Right. Hey, what's been your most memorable moment as an author?
I've been lucky. There's a lot of like cool stuff. Like, you know, I've had a lot of like teens coming out to me for the first time. Like, this is the first. They're like, "Oh, this is the first time I'm ever saying this out loud" or whatever. I'm like, "Oh, well, like you're trusting me with that. Like that's cool." There was just one girl in particular, Destiny, who I met in Brooklyn. Her name is spelled with an A. I thought that was really cool, and she's queer Puerto Rican, and she's like, "I just kissed a girl for the first time yesterday," like the day before meeting me or whatever, and like she had read my book, and then that kind of like inspired her to like just kind of like take control of like her identity and accept herself, whatever, and that was like really inspiring. You know, writing this book actually brought me back together with my best friend. Like we weren't talking for a while, and then I got an arc for the first time, and you know, I was like, I'm gonna give him the first arc because he was like very important to me and kind of inspired some things in the book. So he read it, and then we are now like closer than ever. So that was really cool.
Yeah. So in 2017, you have a contemporary story coming out and also a fantasy story coming out.
Yeah.
So what was it like going from contemporary to fantasy? I know you have like a little bit of a background with fantasy.
Sure, yeah. So More Happy I qualify as just kind of like speculative novel. You know, it's like 90% realistic, 10% sci-fi. My next book, History Is All You Left Me, is straight up contemporary, non-linear, no fantastical elements to it, and then They Both Die at the End, which comes out in the fall from HarperCollins. Like, that's another like speculative novel, categorized as fantasy as well, if you will. Yeah, I mean, it was actually really fun. For me, it's just kind of like figuring out how to like create worlds that feel very grounded and similar to ours. Just seeing like how an existence of such a clinic or whatever, whether it's the Lateo Institute More Happy or the Death Cast Agency and They Both Died, you know, whatever, how that affects our world in both like politics and religions and just all sorts of controversies. So that stuff's always fun, and it's just like world building and predicting what our society would look like in the near future if these things came to fruition.
We have several superhero books coming out from DC and Marvel being written by a lot of young adult authors.
Yeah.
So if you were able to write about a superhero, which one would you want to write about?
I've always been a huge X-Men fan, and particularly Jean Grey and the way that when she goes into like Phoenix mode too. Like I'm a huge Phoenix fan. I have a Phoenix tattoo. It's my second tattoo when I was 19. Yeah, so I've always loved the evolution of like Phoenix, and then it's a Dark Phoenix, and how that kind of like messed with the dynamics of the characters, particularly Scott, Cyclops. I love Nightcrawler. I love Iceman. So I mean, like definitely something in the X-Men arena is probably where I would go for. But yeah, Jean Grey has always been my homegirl. Like telekinesis, I used to get made fun of as a kid because I would always choose Jean Grey as like the character in the video game or whatever. But I'm like, she's the most kick-ass. Like literally, like she can evolve into Phoenix, or like I'm gonna choose Wolverine, who like I can just like fling him away telekinetically. So yeah.
You're a part of the anthology Because You Love to Hate Me, which is focused on villains. So who is your favorite villain, like all-time favorite villain?
I love Voldemort. I'm a big Voldemort fan. I kind of wanted to like be a Death Eater at one point. I just thought they were so cool. They have such a
Slytherin.
I just discovered yesterday that I'm Slytherin. I was on a panel talking about how I'm this like loyal Hufflepuff, and then they're like, "What spell would you use in your real life if you could take one spell from Harry Potter?" I'm like, "Oh, Imperial, 100%." Like I just want to like control people's minds and have them outsource responsibilities to them and everything. So I'm definitely a Slytherin.
Yeah.
And with the amount of like books I'm producing too, like you can qualify me as like being very ambitious, and I just hope I don't take like a really like super dark, sinister turn. But yeah, so I've always like admired. See, I admire Voldemort. No, like I always love Voldemort as a villain.
Yeah.
I love Bellatrix, the Voldemort family.
Voldy. All right.
Yeah.
If you could collaborate with any author, who would you collaborate? And what genre would you write in?
Yeah, I'm unofficially collaborating with Becky Albertalli, actually, who's the author of Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I've been wanting to collaborate with someone for years, like 2 weeks after my first book sold or whatever. And then we were just exchanging emails, and we read each other's books, and we were obsessed with each other and each other's materials, and we're just like finally getting started on it now. And it's like this like gay YA contemporary love story that's gonna be really fun, tons of like near misses or whatever, yeah, so I think that's gonna be we're each taking a character.
Right.
It's cool.
So I know that you have a YouTube channel launching. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Totally. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff. Basically, I'm interested in the YouTube hemisphere because I have always loved talking about books. I was a bookseller, I was a book reviewer, I worked in publishing before all the author stuff kicked in or whatever, and I miss talking about other people's books. Like talking about mine is fine or whatever, but like I'm constantly a fanboy of so many other titles. So this is giving me an opportunity to kind of tap back into like my bookseller roots and my book reviewing roots even. And but there's one series I'm doing. It's called Remember That Time feature, which is basically sort of like a heightened Throwback Thursday type of thing, where I'm asking authors some kind of like cool questions about them, like Veronica Roth, who was the first person you sent an arc for, or like little things like that. And what were you doing when you found out that your book sold, or where were you doing when you saw your cover for the first time, and all these other like cool little fun facts that you don't necessarily hear authors getting asked about at events, because we're always asking them for their inspiration and their writing advice or whatever. So just little like behind the scene type stuff that they're more like human moments in their author careers.
Very cool. We'll leave a link to that down below. Go check it out. Okay, so now we're gonna play a little game called Happy or Not.
Yay!
So I'm gonna give you a bunch of random things. You're gonna say if it makes you happy or not.
Okay, cool.
All right. Donald Trump.
Not. So many nots.
So many nots. Pierce Brown.
Happy. I almost said not. No, I almost said hot. It's like which is like a combination of happy and not. Happy and hot. Yes.
Water balloons.
Happy.
Carpet.
Not.
Meh.
Okay. I can do without a carpet.
Oatmeal.
Not.
Oh snap.
Oatmeal is great.
Bananas.
What's like the midway there? Like I'm not like particularly thrilled with them. I guess more happy than not. Oh god. But
Just
I
fund your own
hate
book.
myself. Yeah.
Green tea.
Happy. Hate
Scotch
coffee.
tape.
Happy. I can go for being a little more double-sided sometimes, but happy for the most part. Yeah.
Coffee.
Not.
Ooh, really?
I'm a green tea kind of guy.
All right.
Just
Styrofoam.
I'm more of a plastic bubble kind of guy.
Okay.
So not.
Pop them.
Yeah.
SATs.
Not.
No way.
No.
Mockingbirds.
More of a Mockingjay kind of guy.
Snap.
Yeah. So I guess happy for both.
Dumbledore.
Happy.
Avocados.
Happy. Real happy.
Jellyfish.
Not.
Brunch.
Happy.
Banjos.
My friend has a cat named Banjo. That makes me happier. But banjos themselves, I
Meh.
can do without them.
Country music.
Not.
Crutches.
crutches?
Yeah, like
Happy, because like that's a useful
they help people
thing
out.
for people. Yeah.
Lightsabers.
Happy, so happy.
So happy. Phoenix feathers.
Happy, but I mean, it just makes me wonder what happens to the phoenix. Like, is the phoenix just like
Like a
nude
phoenix?
right now, like dead? They just like pluck it, like clean. I don't know, but let's say happy.
BB-8.
BB-8, so happy, the happiest. Like literally, it's like I don't even know I have a roommate. Like I just
Who needs a roommate when you got
interact
BB-8?
with BB-8. Like he moves on his
all you
own.
need.
Like he also rebels a lot. I was like, BB-8, come here, and he'll just like away from me. So
Titanic.
I almost said happy. Maybe I just like enjoyed the movie.
Enjoy the movie, but whole
the part of the
situation.
movie I enjoyed was like the last part, like
Tragic
the
part of
hour 3. Yeah, you know, not like hour 1 or 2, but like yeah. So I guess like as a movie, as an art, happy. As a real life tragedy, not obviously.
right. Lemonade.
So happy. Wait, the album or the drink?
Either or.
Both. I've literally only been drinking exclusively lemonade almost like since listening to Beyonce's Lemonade this past week. So
Well, the next one was Beyonce, so happy, obviously.
imagine if I was like plot twist. No,
Plot
I'm not.
twist, no.
No, happy for sure. Yeah.
Beef jerky.
I almost said not, but totes yes. Happy. Yeah.
Same. Beanie Babies.
And it makes me happy that people collect them and they're like still expecting to make billions off them. But
Do you have any Beanie Babies?
no, not a single one. I'm
Okay.
a grown man.
Wondering.
Yeah.
I have this like secret
Do you have
collection that we don't
Beanie
know
Babies?
about.
And I'm gonna like whip out like some Phoenix Beanie Baby. at some
Actually, I
point.
have one right
Yeah.
here. Finally, Band-Aids.
Yeah, they're like good.
I got a Band-Aid. Oh yeah.
Happy's like a strong word for it, but I'm not like
They're like,
upset
they're
that
a
they
thing that
exist.
you need, so.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this interview with me.
Of course, thank you. Hey.
Where can they find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, all at just at Adam Silvera. Silver with an A at the end.
I'll leave links
So-
down below, so go check him out. Go check out More Happy Than Not and all his other books. Links down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye, chew.
It's like, dude, like she was like literally like a Katy Perry song. Like
What?
there was that.
There's a really loud
Oh,
noise that's gonna
yeah.
ruin your video.
What you doing?
I qualify more happy as like.
That was like a full-out crow attack.
So more happy.
She's always that scared me. It's like
Where are they
coming
coming from?
Okay, so we have several. You're a part of the anthology.
Have the Misa, Jar Jar Binks. No.
He said.